and welcome back to another pack video. So, today's story is kind of long, so I hope you stick around for the rest of the video, but the story comes from Reckless Wolf. Welcome to the pack, Reckless Wolf. This is my wolf's profile. I hope you like it. Crystal, 4 years old, white with creamy orange splotches at first. Sorry you couldn't get that picture. Crystal was born with her two parents that were loners and had no pack. Her and her brother learned a sort of carefree life where it was warm every day and a cool, swift breeze would sweep through the night with her fireflies to count and to chase. Her parents were kind and they all seemed to live in a dream. Her parents wanted her and her brother to find other wolves, though. So her and her brother headed out into the woods to find packs. They finally found one in a dense forest. The pack was known for being cruel, and from other foxes and coyotes in the area, the two siblings were told to avoid them. The brother reluctantly entered the forest, but the sister shrugged on the courage. The brother stopped and told her to head back the other way. We're told to avoid them. So, brother stopped and told her to head back the other way, but she was determined to find them. Her brother told her that either she was an idiot or the bravest. Continued. Wolf he'd ever seen. He didn't admit it, but what he saw in her deep brown eyes was fire and strength, so he headed back to the edge, wishing her luck, and she trudged on. For some strange reason, she thought the next time she saw him, there would be a difference. Then they were used to. Soon she started to see evidence of wolf bones laying here, and their scents of different wolves, and even an old elk carcass. She kept her head up and shoulders back. Soon she heard the faint snarl of a wolf and turned her head. She saw a large black and gray wolf with powerful legs and shoulders. Her thick, lengthy body was no match for his sturdy one, but she wasn't fazed by his appearance. It's not the looks that makes the wolf, she said aloud. The wolf blinked in surprise. Then his deep, angry glare returned. How dare you show up in Sharp Fang territory, he asserted her. He waited for her to stammer or submit to him, but she held his gaze calmly. He felt a bit intimidated himself. He let a low growl and told her to leave. And he said shakily, "What is it to you?" She replied, "I'm Crystal," and flicked her ears at him. Dumbfounded, he started at her, and without thinking, she'd managed to soften his attitude a bit. She'd also made herself known in this pack. She'd all go now. She turned and left him to stare after her. Then she found her brother at the edge. "How'd it go?" he asked, scanning her for injuries. "I met a wolf named Casey." He looked surprised. "Well, I'm happy to hear that." They started moving to the next pack. The next pack was called the Cliff Pack. Hence they lived on a cliff. They were kind and pretty much the opposite of the first. Crystal and Wolpen, her brother, moved in carefully. They met a scout who grudgingly took them to the camp. Their alpha said they were glad to stay as long as they liked. "Let's stay here. It's perfect," Wolpen told her. She shrugged and they slept in comfortable nests of moss. She felt something was missing, though. She woke the next morning and came to her brother. "This isn't the place for me, Wolpen. We've had this all our lives, and I want something else." A sadness came over his eyes. "I see you again, I promise." I neck-hugged him goodbye and heard him say, "Crystal." I turned to look at him. "I love you. I smiled, and that's all I needed to do. I knew I wouldn't see him for a long time. I went back to that black and gray wolf's territory. I found a partial, and they crudely took me back. I noticed something. All the cliff wolves were colorful and had blue and green eyes and slim bodies like mine. These had dark brown and yellow eyes with gray and black coats. They were muscled and sturdy. Crystal, I heard a familiar voice say. I saw Casey and waved my tail in greetings. The alpha approached me and told me that he'd test me to see I could cut it to join the pack. Made it slowly. I was accepted and became more and more friendly with Casey. We ended up even being mates. You see, my brother and parents may be happy, but they'll never experience the same feeling that's in this pack. Something about it makes it more beautiful than the rest. Maybe I'm delusional, or maybe I'm brave. Welcome to the pack, Reckless Wolf. Ow! Hope you enjoyed this one.